Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A part of I-29 had to be shut down Wednesday afternoon when an SUV caught fire. The Dual County Sheriff's Office says the SUV was heading south on I-29 just after 2 p.m. when the driver pulled over because of a mechanical failure just south of the Brant exit.
The vehicle then started on fire. The driver was not hurt and was the only one in the SUV. Due to heavy smoke, both southbound lanes were closed as firefighters put out the blaze. If you have a gun in your car right now, police say you should bring it inside or at the very least lock it up.
Sioux Falls police recovered 17 stolen guns from a house in the 200 block of Summit Avenue. All the guns came from small towns and rural areas, and police say they help fuel crime in the city.
Recently, I'd say the last few years, there's more and more gunshot calls that we've seen before. These guns are coming from somewhere.
12 of the guns came from unlocked vehicles, and 5 gun owners didn't even know a weapon was missing until they got a call from police.
An arrest warrant has been issued for 23-year-old Mitchell Arvao for possession of stolen property.
Be careful posting pictures of your lost pets on social media. That's the warning from Cassie Thompson, who lost her cat, Oreo, a few months ago.
Last Sunday, she got a text message from someone claiming they had found her cat, but was demanding $200 in reward money for her return. After a lengthy conversation via text, Thompson believes the person never had her cat, but was rather just trying to scam her out of money.
Just sick to my stomach. I'm like, how could you do that to somebody? Like, what kind of sick person puts somebody through that?
A friend of Thompson's who also lost her cat got a similar text from the same number. They've turned over all the information to police.
Now let's send it over to meteorologist Brian Karstens for a check of this morning's weather. Calm today, but snow on the way, Brian.
That is right. It looks like today's weather forecast pretty good overall. A lot of temperatures here in the upper 30s and low 40s. The headlines, though, let's get into that. We start with southwest South Dakota tonight. We already have winter storm warnings that will be going into effect for Custer, Hot Springs, Pine Ridge, White River, Winter, Mission, Valentine, Sioux Falls, Mitchell, Yankton, a winter storm watch, which means we could be upgraded to a warning at some point later today. So make sure you're staying up on the weather forecast and all the conditions that go with that. Highs today, 39 Brookings, 38 in Watertown. Low to mid-40s elsewhere. Good day to, probably run a few extra errands maybe to get ahead of this system. We'll have the details on Futurecast coming up shortly in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Students at USD have been busy preparing for and taking their final exams this week.
Although it's good to study hard during this time, it's also important to take breaks and recharge. USD offers many different programs for students to participate in during their study breaks.
They're very much drop-in, but I think it's a nice relief just from the study and the stress of finals.
Some of the activities include making stress balls and decorating cookies. You may notice some extra police officers at the Empire Mall this weekend.
10 lucky kids selected by the banquet will be joining officers at Dick's Sporting Goods to do some Christmas shopping for family and friends. Each child will receive a $100 gift card to buy whatever they'd like. Well, a KELOLAND DJ is taking his radio show to the stage. For more than a dozen years, Jeff Gould has hosted a Prairie Christmas on KELO FM.
Gould tells stories and reminds listeners of what it was like being a kid experiencing the magic of Christmas. Producer Bob Euchre saw Gould speak in person at Augustana University and convinced him to do a stage show.
Some of them are going to bring a tear to their eye, some are going to make them laugh, but all of them are going to bring great warm memories to their heart and to their minds.
Tonight's event at the Alliance is called It's an American Christmas. There are similar events planned at communities across KELOLAND, including Pierre, Del Rapids, and Beaver Creek, Minnesota.
That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right. Well, going to be looking a little more like Christmas, at least here in the weather department. We're looking at good chances of snow for several of you. Today's temperatures into the 30s and 40s to start. I think, again, a pretty good day weather-wise being outside. We're going to anticipate, though, changing conditions tonight. Already this evening, some snow beginning to form in southwest South Dakota. This is the beginning of this expanding eastward toward midnight already to Valentine. And then after that, We get into Sioux Falls, probably looking at daybreak weather between 6 and 8 a.m. is when this will really start to pick up, and steady and increasing hour-by-hour snowfall rates probably through midday. City streets are going to be, pretty tough. I would anticipate with the snow and the timing on this, a lot of the crews will be focused on those snow emergency routes. So as you're traveling tomorrow, getting to work probably not too bad. Getting home could be a little more interesting. And with the amount of snow we're forecasting, again, pretty heavy hit in Sioux Falls. And I'll reflect on the numbers in just a moment. Timeline tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. We're out of this in Watertown. And by the way, the effect in Watertown, not nearly as much as Sioux Falls. And also Aberdeen, you're just getting touched by this with just under an inch of accumulation in the forecast. And then we'll clear Sioux Falls daybreak Saturday morning. The odds of 3 inches of snow with this system, they're very good in the winter storm watch and warning area. Sioux Falls area, about as high as you could get on that. The chances of 6 inches or more, well, it's not bad. Sioux Falls is almost to that 50-50 shot, actually. And honestly, I would say Sioux Falls, if we're going to get any spots over 6, is probably going to run that closer to Interstate 90 parallel, and especially east toward Worthington, where we are now forecasting 8 to 12 inches of snow there. A lot of 4 to 8s, though, pretty common across south central and southwest South Dakota. Lesser numbers to the north. Let's wrap up with the forecast. Low to mid-40s today. Sioux Falls to Chamberlain to Winter. And once we get through this segment of the forecast, we clear things out for a while. In fact, next week will be above average. Just a matter of how fast do we melt the snow. And that's something, obviously, we'll need to continue to watch. But it will impact our temperatures, at least in the midsection of the 7-day forecast. Aberdeen, with less snow on the ground, we're going to melt faster, and it will be warmer there next week, likely in the middle 40s by Sunday and Monday. We might get a couple surprise days here yet for Pierre and Rapid City. We've got a few 50s out there, days 6 and 7, and I would encourage you to keep watching that, as we're forecasting quite a bit of mild air to come across the plains next week. But that's all in anticipation of probably bigger changes beyond day 7. I think real winter is going to arrive yet this month. Check out details with our Storm Center update right now at KELOLAND.com, and have a great day.